perhaps missed this in.
Good evening, and thank you for joining this Tourstart training exclusive for BMW in Finland. And thank you for allowing me to record this and then later share on YouTube. Tonight, the training will be approximately 1 hour. In this 1 hour, I will make a motorcycle tour consisting of 5 parts, using 4 different methods to create a motorcycle ride, and during this presentation I will demonstrate the tools that we have developed to make it easy to create a motorcycle ride. My name is Jan and I am the founder of Tourstart, and you are always welcome to write any questions to me, and I will do my best to help and support. I will now share my screen and begin the presentation. Good. So, first of all, on the BMW web page, there is some explanation about this cooperation that Tourstart and BMW Club in Finland have, and where it's also is possible to contact a member of the board, and you will get free access to Tourstart when you are a member of BMW Club in Finland. When I always start some new software, it is good idea just to have a look around on the page to see what is the content here on the page, so that you can see the possibilities you have to work on this website. To the left, there is a menu with a classical menu with the things you can see, the tour, the places, and the other issues we have here. And you can see some link to App Store and Facebook pages. Up here, we have 2 colors of buttons. We have one that is purple. This is a primary button. This is an important button, because this is the one you need to pay special attention to create tour. When the button is white, means it's also important but not super important, so it is a secondary button that will not disturb the attention from you. To the right is a list of motorcycle tours, and this list is of the tour that you can see on the actual map. When you zoom in and out on the map, it will work as a filter and change the list of the tour that you have here on the right. I do the demonstration here in Denmark because this is what I am familiar with, so that I can demonstrate the functions that we have developed for creating a tour. When I see a tour, I go to Tourstart here on the public tours up here, and I see many purple pointers with a number in. This number means that in a cluster, in an area, is the number of tours that you can see here. When I zoom in, the number will change because the cluster will change, and at a certain point I will also start to see the starting point of the tour, and the starting point of the tour is the green marker here. When I mouse over this marker, I will see the tour on the map, and I will also see a preview in the bottom where I can see some information about the tour. I can click to view the tour, for example, and I can also add to download and so on. If I on the list see a tour that I like, then I can mouse over this tour here, and then it will be shown on the map and I can now, it was hidden by the list, but then I can see this is the tour that I was mousing over, and I can see again here a preview of the tour with some basic information in. But today we want to create a motorcycle tour. And I will just say that you are welcome to ask any question you want when you during presentation. Just unmute and ask. Otherwise, if you want to write the question, you can do that in the chat message, and then between each part of the tour that is created, we can have a small stop, and then we can answer questions and have discussion about this. I will.
Yeah, sorry. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Peter. Hi.
Hi, Peter.
Sorry, I'm completely new to this software.
Yes.
So I don't know really anything about it.
Yeah.
Did I miss some sort of intro, or will there be an intro coming or something? Because now to me this looks like so this is like a web-based app, right? That I can use to plan my tours. But then will you come to how this interface is with? What, do I have an app on the phone then, and does that interface with the bike or in some way, or how does this entirety work?
It's a very good question, Peter, and I missed to give a good information about that. I will remember that for future. Tourstart is a website where you can plan your ride. Then Tourstart also have our own app where it's automatically transferred to, and we have developed some integration so you can easily make a transfer to any navigator, to BMW navigator, to Garmin, or to TomTom.
Okay, so right, so you would say that the main idea here is the this is like a social site in the respect that these are other people's tours as well that you can see here, right?
This, you're completely right. This is a social platform where you can create and share tours. And it is only tours on Tourstart is only tours made by members. We in Tourstart do not make tours. We make the platform.
Okay, right. So I browse interesting tours, and if I want to, I can then pick one, and it downloads to the mobile app, and that somehow integrates with the BMW connected app, or what's it called? So I can I get it sort of directly onto the TFT screen of the bike.
You can get the files, so you with BMW tools can transfer to BMB connected app or to the TFT file, to the TFT screen, yes. But the transfer to the BMW environment has to be done with the BMW software.
The import, yeah. Okay, perfect. Yes. Now I understand. Good.
Okay, good. Thank you, Peter. I will remember this for next time, because I start my presentation where I take some assumption that people know that, but it's wrong of me.
It's called the curse of knowledge.
Yes. Today I've learned something new. That's good. Good. I will now start to create a tour. I will create a tour by clicking on this button up here. And again, I will have a look around. What do I see on the website? I see tour 514. This is a counter we have. You can delete this one. I normally keep this because then I can see how old my tour is. And I give it a name, that this is BMW Finland, and we're doing the tour today. You can see how long the tour is. You can import a file if you like, and you can also share this tour with others should you like. Now it's private. You can share it with friends, have it public, or share it in a bike club. Add pictures, add text, and here's the start via and end point. Some of the icons we will not speak about today, you can investigate later. And then over here we have the tools that I will use for creating the motorcycle ride. When creating the motorcycle ride, you can either click on the map or write an address in these points here. I will click on the map. This is most visually easy to work with. And I will zoom in to where my house is. I live in this place here. And I zoom in, and then I will just click on the map to have my starting point of the tour. So I click on the map, and this is where I start my tour. So now I have started, but I need to think about 2 steps for creating my motorcycle ride. First step is, what is the strategy? The strategy is for me to define where do I want to start, what do I want to see on my ride, and where do I want to stop. After I have decided that, I will go to step number 2, and this is on which road do I want to ride. And there's a good reason why to have it in these ways. This is about the points that we will set, and I will explain this when we have set some points on the map. I will zoom in to this city up here. This is a very popular place for motorbikers to go and to have a stop and to eat some ice cream. I will click on the area where we will stop and eat the ice cream. The route is now created, and I will go to this place afterwards up here where my friend is living, and then I will have an evening. We will spend an evening together, and then tomorrow, the day after, we will continue riding. So I will click up here where he lives, and now my tour is finished. But this is a via point, and I need to stop my tour at a stop end point. And you can see there's a shadow red pointer here, and when I mouse over the shadow up here, it becomes fully red, and then I can change to an endpoint. I will click on this one, and now I have my tour with my start via an endpoint. And this is my strategy. This is how I want to build my tour. Second part is to define or to select the roads that I want to ride on. I just zoom in, and I want to ride on this road here. This is a traditional drag and drop. When I mouse over the route, it changes to a hand, and I will hold on my left click and keep my left click down, and then I will drop it, and it will then change to this road up here. I will zoom in to this area down here, because this is where I want to ride also. You can see the route here. I want to ride on my motorbike on this route here down to this city, and then go back up to the place. I take a random place on the route to get my drag point. I will hold my drag point down. I will drag it down to this place down here in the city. As you can see, I'm on a relative high zoom level. My hand is big. I cannot see where I drop my point, if I drop it exactly on the road or not. The function on Tourstart is that where you drop it, it will stick to the nearest road that is where you have dropped it. This can be a little hard to see, and sometimes the point is down the sideway where you have to go down some few meters, make a turn and go back again. And this is, if you're alone, it's not a big problem. But if you're riding with some friends, I am sure that you know what to talk about when you stop for ice cream. Now, I will try to place my pointer I have a feeling now my pointer is a little bit down the side row where I don't want to ride. Please have a look what is happening when I release my mouse click here. Release it, and then it jumps back automatically to the road. This is not stick to road. This is some optimizing tools that we have developed that we call Tourstart Tour Optimizer. This is the tool Tourstart Tour Optimizer. I will open it, drop down. The function we're talking about is point optimization, and more specifically, it is automatic drag to route. We have analyzed all routes on Tourstart and separated all routes going down on a sideway and going back again to find out how far down are these points, and we set a limit to 150 meter. If the point is less than 150 meter down the side road, we estimate that it is set wrong and user don't want to do that. So this is the automatic drag to route. If you want it to keep it, you can regret. This is a Danish translation is giving sometimes a little problem. Then it will go back, but it is okay in this situation. I will delete this point and make a new demonstration. I'll go here to point number 2 and see on the list. I will delete. Good. I'll take my pointer route again and drag again. This time I will try to drag a little further down. Now you can clearly see it's a little further down, but not very much. Then I hope this is the right length. We will see. I will let go now. Then it does not jump back, but it gives me a warning. If you're on high zoom level, it gives you an exclamation mark. If you're on lower zoom level, it gives you also exclamation mark, and then sorry for the translation, but then it will say optimize. But also up here in Tourstart Tour Optimizer, in the point optimization, what the function we're talking about is correct via point and correct drag point. This point is more than 150 meter down the road. So therefore, it is not automatically dragging back to the road, but it gives you a warning. And the optimize all button up here is now changed to purple. So this is now a primary button where you need to give some attention and take decision. Do you want to optimize all points? You can do this by one click, or you can click on each point and optimize them. For me, it's fine. I will just optimize all and click optimize all. When I do that, it will automatically drag back to the route. So have a look. I will click on it now. Now my route is corrected, and I avoid to make a turn down on this road a few meters and then U-turn and go back again. I will set a drag point here because I know this by experience that my routing need this. For other functions up in Tourstart Tour Optimizer, we have route options. The first one is highlight unpaved roads. Then it is marked red. When I click on this one, the unpaved roads on the routes here will become red, and you can see that one route here in the middle of the screen is now red. I will zoom in just to have a more clear view of it. I will take my mouse again, and now I will right click. Then I get a new dialog box. I will not set my start via or endpoint or home or work address. No, I want to view on Google Maps. I'll just click now. When I view on Google Maps, it will jump to this exact position, and then I can have my street view and see what is this for a road, and this is an unpaved road, very good condition. And then you can take decision if you want to ride on this or not. Some users have preference for unpaved, some have preference for not riding unpaved, some don't care. But here you can take an active decision what you like. I'll go back to Tourstart. Our thinking about this was that you can, many GPS, they have avoid unpaved roads. We think this is basically wrong, because we prefer to highlight. Then you can take this decision based on your preferences, instead of thinking, why can I not go on this road? Then you can see, oh, this is unpaved, this is not so big distance, for me is fine, or perhaps you prefer this. I will zoom out a bit. I will jump to this route shaping points. Show shaping points. On all routes that is made on Tourstart, we add shaping points automatically. This is to support the GPS in guiding you on exact same road that you create here on Tourstart as you will get on your navigator. When we have many different type of points, we have the start via end, we have the drag points, and we have the shaping points. The difference is coming back to the strategy of creating a motorcycle ride. You need to create a ride where you focus on the good experience in riding and on your decision, what is it you want to do. The shaping points and the drag points will just be shown as inactive points on your navigator, whereas on, for example, a via point, start, end and via point, you can add a name of this point. In your navigator it will give you this name, but this one you can change. And when you have changed that, then you will see, just a second, I have to open up this one. Then when you give it name ice cream, when you are approaching this point, then it will say guide you to in 150 meters, you will come to your via point ice cream. So if all points were via points, it will always say you are coming to via point, you come to via point. This is very frustrating to listening to. But in Tourstart app, you will only be guided to, you will only see the guidance to the via points, and then you will be shown up here what the name of the point that you gave it when you created the tour. And you can also see when you create the tour, oh, this is home, this is ice cream, and then you can define other points as viewpoints or whatever you find good when you are riding on your motorbike. For your BMW navigator, you can also see the name of the point. In this example here, we just write Tourstart via point, but this could also be ice cream or viewpoint, exactly as you are writing on Tourstart. So therefore, we have developed the different type of points so that you can give it a name and recall the planning behind having a stop in this point here. This was part number 1. And please interrupt if you have any questions to ask. This was the first part. Now we have to make part number 2, and I will look here, part number 1. Part number 2 can be created when you click on the tab here on the plus, add additional part to the tour. This additional part of the tour will then have starting point where you have ending point on number 1. Very logic. I click now because this is where you turn off ignition of the motorcycle, and this is where you have to turn it on the next day. I will do my planning again to click on the map. I will zoom in and say I want to go to this place here to drink some coffee, and then up here is a museum that we should stop and have a look on. I will then click up here, and as the same as on part number 1, I will then change this one to an endpoint. This is the first part of the strategy where I have said what is it we want to see on the way, and now I have to go to the second part of the strategy where I say now I have to define the roads that we want to ride on. I drag the route to the roads that I like, but I can see there is an issue here with the highway. This is not long, but it's a good example of that it will select highway if you do not use Tourstart Tour Optimizer to avoid this. You can of course drag it away from the highway, but you can also use the standard function we have here in Tourstart Tour Optimizer, avoid highway. I will click on this one, and then it will change the route. I can drag further if I like, but for now it is okay. Then the question is what to do on the BMW Navigator, Garmin or TomTom. On these there are some settings where you can avoid highway, you can do a setup according to your preferences. The best way to set up your navigator is to have it fully standard. All changes that you make on the routing and the planning of the routing you do on Tourstart, and the shaping points that we have here on Tourstart, we use these to ensure that the GPS take the road that you want to ride, because the file that is transferred to your navigator is that as a starting point, and then the shaping points is automatically set by our mechanism, and the GPS will see that it has to drive through these. So even you have accept or avoid highway, it will not go on the highway. It will go here and take you on these roads. So just keep it as a standard with fastest route between the points, and you will see that it has as big similarity as possible between Tourstart and what you see. This was part number 2. We will continue riding the motorcycle. Now we will go to part number 3, and I will add additional part to the tour. The same again. End point will be start point. Some other tools we have on Tourstart is the Tourstart Ride Twister. This is a common name for the tools we have developed to create a twisted motorcycle ride. The one that is purple now is the POI, point of interest, where we have tried now 2 times to say start by endpoint. I will try to make a round trip. I will click on the round trip, and we will see some new tools coming up. We have developed a mechanism that can automatically create a round trip and destination for you. The tools is that you can slide to twist your ride with this one. You can recalculate the route, and you can also set a direction of the preference for in a preferred direction of the route. This slider is a mechanism that is doing some calculations of 2 things or to create the route. This is the length and also how twisted the route will be. And there are some algorithms calculating into these two areas. So the more I slide, it will be a combination of these two things. I try to slide a bit here, and then we can see I get a round trip. I can try to slide a little bit more. I can get a bigger round trip. And I can recalculate because perhaps this twisted level is good for me. And I can see up here how long the ride is. Perhaps I think, this is a little too long. I will slide a little back and it will give me a new possible new route that I can ride on. Perhaps I see that this is a good route. Our mechanism sometimes make these small spikes here, can just correct it. We are still optimizing on this mechanism, but it's very advanced mechanism, so this is one of the things we're optimizing on. It will give you unlimited number of possibilities for riding your motorcycle on these round trips. So you can twist and recalculate as many times as you like. Also here we can then see small part of it is unpaved road. This was part number 3. And I will now slide a little bit to the right up here. Then I can have my plus sign and I will click here to add additional part to the tour. Now go back to Tourstart Ride Twister and select destination. I will see the same tools for twisting my ride and for recalculating the route, and then there's a button. I can set position, start position on the map. I don't want to change that. I will keep it as it is here. And you can see my mouse pointer is now an end point. The reason why is that I just zoom in on my map and say, where do I want to go? Oh, I want to go to this address here. I will click on the map and it will give me the fastest route to this point. Then I will slide to get a twisted ride. Again, the same as in RoundTrip, I can do this a lot of times to get exactly the route that I like. Then I can recalculate, and once I am happy with the route, I will just accept this, and then I can start to do my own modifications if this is what I like, or I can accept the route as we have it here. So this was the right twister for destination, where this mechanism is calculating a twisted route for you. The last part of the motorcycle tour will create part number 5. And I will zoom in here on the map. On Tourstart Ride Twister mechanism, the last part we will use is the FingerDraw. I click on the FingerDraw, and when I'm ready to draw my route, I will just say Start Draw Route, and then my mouse will become a hand with a side glass in, and this glass is where my route will be drawn when I start to draw the route. When inside this, now I say this is where I want to start, and then I will left click, keep my left click down, and I will just drag my hand over the roads that I like to ride on, and when I'm finished with that, I will do a little bit more. This. So now this is my hand draw route, and when I'm finished, I will release my click, and it will draw the route for me, and then I can see, oh, is this the route I like to write, yes or no. If I prefer to do more, then I click on continue to draw, and I can continue to draw. In this situation, I am happy with the route, and I have now created my motorcycle ride of the 5 parts that I started to talk about that we wanted to do. And do not hesitate to ask any questions. Now I will click on Save and View Tour. Tourstart is working a bit. I will see now my part 1. I mouse over on the list here, and on the map it will be highlighted in a different color. Part 2, part 3 is the round trip, part 4 is the destination, and part 5 is my FingerDraw. If I want, I can have a look on each individual part of the tour. I can change up here on the tabs to see my tour number 2 and 3 and so on. I will go back to the overview and to see now my tour is super fine, and I will then show them how I can save my tour in a folder. I will open here, and you can see this is my tours. I can create a new folder by clicking on this one. I create now a folder, BMW Finland. I can change the position of the folder by dragging it, by clicking on these dots here. For me is fine. There are no tours in this folder, and if I want to add this tour to this folder, I will go to my tour here, and then we have this small icon, Add to Folder. I will click on this one. Then I can see the same order of my folders as I can see in the list, and I will then select BMW Finland, and once I select it, it will change to 1. So now my tour is saved in my folder. In the folder, I can save my tours, any tour that I can find on Tourstart. So when you surf around and find a tour you like, then you will be able to save it in the folder, so you can easily find it again later. Now, to close the menu, because next step is to transfer the route here to a navigator. Add to download. When I add to download, I will see my icon flying up here, and it will change to 1. Add to download, up in Tourstart Transfer. When opening Tourstart Transfer, I can see 2 tabs. One is Transfer. This is the tour that I've just created. This is 5 parts. I can start the transfer. I will wait to do that. Or I can see more download options, where I can download a specific file type that I may like to use for sharing with friends as a GPX file, or download to use on my Motorrad Connected. This we will not do now. And this Tourstart Transfer, this is a software that is installed on your computer. This software is the link between the server we have in our hosting center and the USB on your computer. Because you plug in the navigator in the USB, and it will then show it is connected and it is a Garmin Sumo. To download this software, you go to the second tab up here in Tourstart in the Transfer GPS window. Then there's a link to download Transfer, and it will automatically detect if you have a Mac or Windows, and then it will guide you to download the correct software and have this installed. And once installed, it will appear like this, and you are ready to download. I want to start the transfer now. I click on Start Transfer. So now information has been sent from the server to Tourstart Transfer software. You have to download 5 routes because it is this tour consisting of 5 individual GPS routes. It is now become purple, so now it's ready for me to transfer. And as a sign of transfer, there will be some small dots animation here on the wire to indicate that the file is now being transferred to the GPS, and it will say route is transferred. Now the route is on my Garmin, and I'm ready to unplug it and do the import or open the route depending on how the specific GPS is working. But we also have our Tourstart app as I mentioned before. I will now open my app and show you this route. Just a second. I just need the software to help me. I use this lonely screen here. Good. Just need to make it a little bigger, then it's easier to see. This is my telephone. I have my Tourstart app ready, and I will now launch Tourstart app. As before, when you come to a new place, then it's good to start having a look what is going on here. Now this one is in in Danish, my app here. I hope it's okay for you. This is my profile. I have done 9 motorcycle rides. Not really, but I have done 9 rides where I have done some testing on Tourstart. And this is the home section where I can see the tracks of my friends, my tracks and my friends' tracks. So I can get some inspiration of where they have been riding, and also then I can share with them where I have been riding. In the bottom is the menu. You always start on home. This is marked green. I will open up the menu here. The menu shows that we have create tour, we have tours, home, the menu and navigation. To create a tour, we have 5 different ways to create the tour on the web. We have only 4, and I will demonstrate also this later. We have settings and the track. We want to find the tour now that we have created, so I will click on tour. When I go to the tour section, it is just loading the tours, and it will show my tours. You can also select public tours, friends tours, but in this situation here, we will only see my tours. The easy way to find the tour is to either search or to go on list form. I choose to go in list form, and the tour I can see up here is Tour 514, and this is exactly the tour that we have created here. This icon here is white, and it's the phone with an arrow on, and this one down here is green, indicates that this one is not saved for offline use. I will just tap on this one and it will then be saved for offline use. This is a 5 days tour. I will click on the tour here on the map and I will then be diverted to the tour, and we can see this is 7 hours and 19 minutes and 391 kilometers. This is also correct. All tour overview here I will see, and I can then select part number 1. The part number 1 is with the ice cream stop, so this is correct, this is what I like. And I will then start to navigate. I will press on go. It say, do you want to navigate to beginning of the route? It could seem like a little unnecessary question, because for sure I want to navigate to beginning of the route, but it makes sense when you make a stop. When you have the ice cream and you make a stop, and if you turn off navigation and then start again, then it will ask, do you want to navigate to beginning of the route? And then for sure no. Then you say no. Then the route will be shown inactive just on the map, and it is you who will then drive to the route. As soon as you hit the route, navigation will start and guide you from your actual position towards the end. But here in this situation, yes, I want to navigate to beginning of the route, and I can see my route here, and then I'm ready.
Trip is 41 kilometers, time is 47 minutes, head southeast.
But now this is
Prepare to turn left after 400 meters.
This is just a demonstration. I will end it now. Good. So this was to find the tour that you have created. We can also create a tour. I will click on create down here, and I will try to create a destination. You can try to the others, please try to work with them, but I will demonstrate the destination. Again, it is the pointer with the end point on, and this time I will select going to now I was clicking good. It will then create the fastest route. The same as before, I will just slide my twister and recalculate until I'm ready with the route that I want to ride. So now I slide it up to here, then it calculates. I will now try to recalculate. So if you are in a place where you are standing with friends, or you just want to go riding, say, oh, where to go, then you can quickly open the app, use this function here, and then within few minutes you have a fantastic twisted motorcycle route that you can go riding. Of course, to start riding, you just hit the green go button. Now I will delete this one and try another function. Create. The new function on the app that we do not have on the web is this MapDraw. This is the opposite of a FingerDraw. This one is where you have the pointer, and you can see you can move the map and you will keep the pointer in the middle of the screen. And when you have found out where you want to ride, then you can click up here, start, create a route. I will click on this one, and then I move the map inside, and inside the pointer I can see the route will be made. I just draw this one on the map. this is a very short route. I can continue or end. In this situation, I will just end. So every time you release your finger from the screen on iPhone, it will ask you create or what, but on Android you can just continue. So this is another way to create a route, and then you can again do this in a very very short time to do that. Also this one I will delete. Good. Now I have been through the presentation about the functions that we have on Tourstart, and you are very welcome to ask questions or to ask for repeat some demonstrations or to do more. But please do not hesitate to ask. When everything, not everything, but on App Store, rating is important. If you use the app, then do us a big favor and rate the app. Go to settings and then here the thumbs up. Please rate us. Go to App Store and give us a rating. This is of big importance for us to get a good rating on the App Store.
I do not have any questions, but I think that I will a little bit fiddle with this and try it. Give it a chance.
Thank you very much, Simo. That's good.
If I compare this with the Garmin Bootcamp, or what was the name, this is totally in a different planet.
Garmin was pure shit.
And that was very kindly said.
For sure, the strategy of Tourstart for developing this tool has been different than Garmin. Yes.
There's one thing, Jan, if I can tell you about this. I have been used this Tourstart about a year.
Yes.
In my previous bike with the Garmin, and with my new bike with the connected app, BMW connected app.
Yeah.
The Tourstart is okay, no complaint about that. But for the friends to use who is driving with the new BMWs with the connected app, I have to say that connected app is losing a lot of road data. I live half a year here in South Spain.
Yeah.
And I'm using that here, this Tourstart for planning. Yeah. Then I transfer the GPX file to the BMW app, and what I have noticed that a lot of small roads are missing from the map data, and the map data is done by the TomTom, which BMW has bought, or they have paid something for TomTom about that, but they haven't paid enough, I see. And then I made a claim to BMW that a lot of hotels, I have missed several hotels. I had to use mobile app or Google Maps to find place or find the small roads. And they said that, okay, TomTom is going to do a new version of the map data, version number 5, but they didn't know when they're going to launch it. But it's going to be a problem. I didn't notice that in last summer in Finland, but I noticed that here in Spain, South Spain, and also in Portugal. For example, I visited the MotoGP in Portugal about a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't find my hotel. I didn't find those small roads there with BMW connected app, but it was in Tourstart when I planned it, but that's obviously the problem on BMW side. That's what I want to say.
That is interesting. Yes.
Yes, very much. And I can see we have now in our team of supporters a person who is very dedicated to BMW Connected app. And we have this BMW Connected file. So when you're using BMW Connected file, Connected app, it's best to download the BMW Connected file. If you have a GPX file, it will show you start, route, end. If you use the BMW Connected file, it will show you the start and all your points on the way and end.
Okay, there is a difference.
The routes should be the same, but the appearance on the Connected app is not the same. We together with him, we would also very much like your input. Then we are trying to investigate if our file for the BMW Connected app is good enough, or we need improvements to be sure that we do it right. Because we prefer that it will be the same in BMW Connected app as in our app, that you only show start via endpoint as pointers. The rest should be just dots on the map, and it should not be significant. It should just be there to guide the route. We have not done enough deep investigation in this yet, but it will come.
Jouko, question to you was when you claimed about this issue, did you claim directly to the BMW or to TomTom?
Yeah, directly to the BMW with the connected app. So
Okay.
they knew what kind of phone I have, what kind of bike I have, etc. And they give me an answer in, so to say, 24 hours. No complaint of that, but they said that they noticed the problem that a lot of roads are missing from the map data.
Oh, this is big problem. Yes. So, okay, then I perhaps misunderstood, because this is not about file type, but this is more about map data.
Not about that.
Yeah.
When I was in my hotel, for example, in nearby to Portimao in Portugal, so the Connect app didn't know where I am. It was blank. There was no road.
Okay.
Wow. Then it can be a challenge.
Yeah.
We know that
Free of charge.
Okay. Apple is also using TomTom, and when they started about a decade ago, it was a disaster, a huge disaster. And they have to apologize from the customers of the Apple that there is a lot of problem. But nowadays, I think the TomTom app is working fine when you are using it in Apple.
This problem, I didn't notice that in Finland last summer, but I noticed that in here in Spain and in Portugal.
Okay. And that is anyhow a big market.
Yes, it is. We have
Okay,
a lot
thank you. Thank you, Jan. I have to drop out.
Thank you, Simo.
I'll give it a try.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's good.
Okay.
Super. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Have a nice day, everybody.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thank you and bye.
Bye.